All right, we are here today to talk about the ongoing political and economic situation in Nigeria. I have Mustafa, who is a strong supporter of the governing APC party with me, and political analyst and political commentator Theophilus here to talk about it. But let me come to you first, Mustafa. You are a strong member and a spokesperson, so to speak, of the ruling party. Are you pleased with the current economic conditions in Nigeria?
No, I'm not. I'm not. It will be counterproductive for anybody to sit down and say they are currently happy with the situation of things in Nigeria as it is. But then again, we have to look for the positives. Where were we as a nation before this president came into power? Where are we currently, and where are we going to? We must be able to appreciate the process. Progress is a process. It's not an event. It's a process. And so we must look at why Nigeria is in the situation that it is in, and what's the end point, or what's the end goal of the government in putting Nigeria through these so-called difficult times. I must be very clear with you. When this government took power, we knew, every Nigerian knew, the president, while campaigning, said he was going to make drastic changes to monetary and fiscal policy that needed to be done, and to usher in some level of austerity. And Nigerians needed to deal with that. Otherwise, the future of this country was going to be in jeopardy. We had enjoyed a subsidy regime for about 30 years. What was supposed to be a 6-month stopgap for intervention by the government had lasted more than 30 years, and it was no longer sustainable for the government to continue to rigmarole around that elephant in the room. Also, as a country, I don't think there's any other country in the world that has a dual exchange system. So in Nigeria, before May of 2023, if you had a dollar, you could change it at official rate of 480 naira in the banks. But there was also an equally vibrant and arguably more vibrant exchange, which was called or referred to by Nigerians as the black market, where you could change that same dollar for 750, 760 naira. So that created an arbitrage in our monetary system that was a Nigerian thing. I don't think there's any other country in the world where you could find that. So the president came.
But that has been the case all along, Mustafa. Let me come to you as we wait for Mustafa to connect back on.
Okay.
Theophilus,
Yeah.
are you pleased with the current economic conditions in Nigeria?
I don't know. I love the fact that my very good friend Mustafa, attested to the fact that no Nigerian at the moment, except those people who are in government, who are feeding off the government, would say that everything is fine. But I can tell you for a fact that for an average Nigerian on the street, all is not well. And there is no hope of all being well in the nearest future. So to me, if I should answer your question,
Hello, Peter, can you hear me?
very, very simple, term, all is
yes,
not
I can
well
hear you.
with the country.
All right, so Mustafa, let me come to you. You talked about the economic conditions. Okay. It's okay. We are continuing. Don't worry. Today, 11 people were killed. Reports of insecurity growing. The government has said that it's tackling insecurity very much, and that attacks have sharply reduced, unlike previous years. Are you content with the explanation of the government looking at the growing insecurity in parts of Nigeria?
Well, insecurity is a global problem. We all know what the situation is, even in the most advanced countries of this world. Nigeria is not. It's not
we can't hear you.
Problem.
We can't hear you, Mustafa. Please check and come back. Let me come to you, Theophilus.
Okay. I'm here.
Yeah, so Theophilus, today there were reports of some killings. Insecurity in Nigeria is growing. Some people are denying, saying that or the opposition is using that as a political tool to beat the government. What say you?
Well, this is this is like an everyday occurrence, in our country at the moment. That there has never been, a day that we wake up and you will not hear of one attack or the other by either, Boko Haram, insurgents, or by bandits, or by kidnappers, and all sorts. So it is like a daily occurrence, and the current administration has not done anything, to tackle the insecurity in the country head on. And this insecurity is affecting, in fact, even the farmers, they can't go to their farms, to farm. We have food insecurity. That's a result of, insecurity in northern parts of the country. In Benue, there is herdsmen, farmers crash it every day, and you can see that Nigeria, it's now, a hotbed, if I can put it like that. It's now a hotbed for insecurity, and it's quite unfortunate that the current administration has not, found a solution to this problem. And they made a promise to Nigerians that they are going to tackle insecurity head on. And we have not seen that in their actions. So to me, just like, before we came up here, I saw in the news reported by Daily Trust that over scores of worshippers were killed in Zamfara. Like this, we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue to lose, Nigerians to insecurity like this. And aside,
but Theophilus, the government is saying that it has stepped up and bolstered security in parts of the country, and that the frequency with which militant groups such as Boko Haram, ISWAP, and the likes attacking Nigerians have sharply reduced, and that they are keeping their promise of keeping Nigerians safe.
I do not agree with that. I do not agree with it. But the fact that some of these, incidents are underreported does not mean they are not happening. These are two different things. Most of these attacks are underreported. And to me, every Nigerian life should matter to the government, whether in Karanamuda, in Zamfara State, or in Ogbomoso, in Oyo State. Every Nigerian life should matter to the Nigerian government. So the fact that these things are not happening in the city centers or in the urban area does not mean they are not happening. So to see that the frequency of these attacks are, it's reducing in a way, it's like saying that, okay, because they are no longer happening, frequently, that we are good. No, you are not good. The fact that it is still happening means that you have to tackle the problem head on.
Mustafa, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. So, Mustafa, do you think the government is doing enough to push back against attacks or growing attacks by insurgent groups such as Boko Haram and ISWAP? Is the government doing enough?
Yes, I think so. But I must say very quickly that if one Nigerian life is lost, it then means that the government needs to do more. It is wrong and highly political to say that the government is doing nothing at all. Remember, again, we have to look to where we're coming from, like I said previously before the connection went bad. Between 2010 and 2014, Nigeria was a hotbed of insecurity. We were having bomb blast after bomb blast after bomb. Even the capital of the country, Abuja, was not safe. Boko Haram was controlling the territory of Nigeria that was as big as the country of Belgium. 7 local governments in this country had Boko Haram flags hoisted in those communities. That's no longer the situation. Is the situation perfect? No. Has something happened to change that situation? Absolutely. What you will observe is that most of these terrorist attacks, bomb blasts here and there, have morphed into kidnapping. And government on a daily basis is striving and doing what it can to curtail this ever-evolving security challenge. But again, we must say it as it is. Nigerians are still pushing the government of the day to do more. Like I always say, government is a continuum. I don't think any one government can completely eradicate insecurity in the country in 2 years. This
Mustafa,
this has been in power.
the government during campaigning, the ruling party during campaigning promised Nigerians that they will address this as one of the key pillars of their policy to ensure that Nigerians are protected. The Constitution mandates the president and by extension his government to ensure the protection of life and property.
It's an ongoing challenge that you keep facing on a daily basis. And the American government will come and say, oh, we'll protect our citizens. But does this mean that Americans are no longer at danger once that government comes into play? It's not magic. The government doesn't have a magic wand that it will wave and insecurity will just disappear into thin air. You have to approach this with a carrot and stick approach. So there's a minute approach to it. There is also an economic approach to this insecurity problem. And government is on both fronts doing the best that it can. I will say again, I do not think that it's hurrah or we are at an El Dorado. No, we're not. Again, if one Nigerian life is lost to insecurity, the government needs to be held to account. I'm not for holding government to I'm not against holding government to account on the loss of life in Nigeria, but I think it is detrimental to the government and to the morale of the soldiers who are on the front lines of insecurity to say that nothing is being done. A lot is being done. Are we seeing the results? Yes. Do we push for more to be done? Absolutely. It is a blanket statement that I do not agree with to say nothing has been done to tackle insecurity head on. I do not agree with that.
Okay.
In its absolute.
All right, Theophilus.
Okay,
Theophilus,
yes,
you seem to differ.
Yes, I quickly want to come in here. To me, I think that it is disingenuous to say that because bombs are no longer, going off in Abuja, the city center, or any of our cities, around the country, that insecurity to a large extent has been contained. No, it is very, very wrong. Just like I said earlier, every life, whether be it in Kara and Moda, should matter to the government, right? The fact that, okay, because people are living in Bama, in Borno State, because they are no longer, these bombs are no longer going off, in Abuja, it then means that you no longer care, or that the government, is making effort, to contain the insecurity. No, every life in Nigeria should matter. And this is the responsibility, the primary responsibility of the government. And again, I want to remind Mustafa that just recently, the governor of Borno came online to tell Nigerians that some parts of Borno are currently under the control of Boko Haram insurgents. So why is he not telling me now that this happened in 2010 to 2014, where some territories were under the purviews of the Boko Haram insurgents? This thing is still happening today. Just like I said earlier, that these things are not reported every day in the media does not mean they are not happening. And even as in the governor of a sub-national government came out openly to say that some territory under him are currently under, as in the control of Boko Haram insurgents. And this person is an APC governor, the ruling party governor. So what are we saying? So I disagree completely with Mustafa on this.
Theophilus, your video went off. Can you see it?
Oh, really?
Yes, now you are back.
Oh,
I don't know
sorry
what happened,
about
but
that.
you are back. All right.
Okay.
So my question is, the president recently made a statement, and a lot of Nigerians are displeased that his government has dealt drastically with the issue of corruption in public institutions. Do you agree to that statement? Let me come to you first, Theophilus, before we come to you, Mustafa.
Why should I agree with that? No, I don't think this government has dealt with corruption in any way. In fact, they are not even fighting corruption. The only thing that they are doing is using the instrumentality of the state to go after dissenting voices and opposition voices. That is the only thing that we have seen. This government has not fought any corruption. In fact, the ones that they started, the better you do, corruption saga with the Ministry of, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. The report of that particular corruption case has not been published up until this very moment. So what are we saying? There has been several other reports of corruption allegations against serving cabinet members, and nothing has seemed to be done. The current FCT
but supporters of the government, Theophilus, supporters of the government are saying that commentators like you and the opposition will not even give the government credit for some of the successes it has chalked, including fighting corruption. People have been brought, charges have been filed against people, they have been brought to court, and they are being prosecuted.
Credit for can Mustafa point me to one conviction that this government has made since assuming office in 2023? This is where, this is how you measure fight against corruption, through conviction. Not a single conviction has been made. And the one that is popular at the moment, that is everywhere,
Peter, can you hear me?
The former CBN governor Emefiele. At the moment, Emefiele, many Nigerians.
The connection is greatly unstable. I don't understand why.
Corruption. Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. You're talking about Emefiele. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mustafa was interrupting. He was saying that the network was, a bit bad. Okay. If I will continue, so like the Emefiele case is more of media trial than judicial trial. Emefiele has not been convicted of any crime. We have only heard of different properties, to his name being recovered. And if I should go down memory lane, Emefiele served under the same APC administration. So it is just like APC prosecuting another, APC member deeper into the country's, purse. So this tells you that the ruling government, that is the ruling party, the APC, the All Progressive, Congress, they've entrenched as in corruption in our system. And they cannot tell me that, okay, people who have, entrenched corruption in our system are fighting the same as in corruption. No, they are not fighting any corruption. I have not seen any conviction. So if I have not seen any conviction, where is this corruption that they are fighting? Going after Yahoo boys and,
Mustafa, you are back. The issue of fight against corruption.
I'll
come back to you. I'll come back to you. Let me
going after Yahoo boys is not fighting.
Okay, go ahead, Mustafa.
Can I speak to that very quickly? Again, we keep looking at the theatre. Fighting corruption is institutional. Yes, convictions are necessary, but reforms are more important. I don't believe in building strong men. I think when Nigerians focus on building institutions, the ex-Vice President Goodluck Jonathan made an analogy that a lot of Nigerians misunderstood at the time. He said, if you have a goat and yam, and you keep the goat and the yam in the same place, and every time the goat eats the yam, you hit the goat and it runs away from the yam, what you should do is to find a way to separate the goat from the yam. So the temptation to even begin to feast on the yam is no longer everybody. Nigerians understand what he was saying at the time. Now, when the president was campaigning, he said that Nigeria's propensity for corruption is because we are a cash-driven economy. An economy where you want to buy a mobile phone for ₦1 million, and you have to put that ₦1 million down in cash. That's the system Nigeria operates. Meanwhile, you see developed countries operate on a credit system. This government has come into play and issued a credit system to allow Nigerians. There's the federal government housing loan. There is student loan for students who want to attend tertiary institutions whose parents might or might not be able to afford the cost of education. You have the National Healthcare Insurance Scheme in play. You have the credit pool, which allows you as a salary earner or as a business owner to access cheap credit from government. These are incentives that deter Nigerians, whether in public service or in private sector, from corruption itself. This, again, is why I say a lot of people are missing. They're looking at the wrong picture. You're looking for convictions of high net worth individuals in society to point you to the fact that government is fighting corruption. As important as that is, I do not think that high net worth individuals constitute 1% of the corruption that we face in this country. It is my honest belief.
Okay. Mustafa is talking about
wait, Theophilus, let Mustafa finish. All right, Mustafa, continue. But let me also ask you this, Mustafa. Are you pleased with the fight against corruption by this administration, by the APC government?
Yeah, Mustafa, we can hear you. Just that your network is a bit shaky. I think you know the
Mustafa's network is giving you problem.
Yes,
go ahead.
You know, I think it's the challenges that we are facing in the country that is affecting Mustafa at the moment. Do you understand? Because he's talking about building institutions, and Mustafa at the moment he doesn't even have a good network reception. That is to tell you that many Nigerians, I'm saying close to 75% of Nigerians do not have access to internet. And if this number of people do not have access to internet, tell me, how are you going to institutionalize as a credit system in the country? Right? So it is not about saying some of these things. It is about putting them into action. Where is the infrastructure that you are building this on?
Can you guys hear me?
Well, the former that's the former president of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan, the person that he just quoted as saying that the analogy that he just quoted about yam and whatever. Well,
yes.
when he made this analogy, Mustafa and several other APC members kicked against him. They say that the man was saying rubbish, that he doesn't know what he's saying. But today they are now quoting him. Yes, in 2012, if I could recall, when this same President Goodluck Jonathan wanted to remove subsidy, the current administration kicked against it. Why? Because all for politics, they kicked against it. They went to Ojota to protest that Nigerians are suffering, that the government of President Goodluck Jonathan cannot remove, subsidy from the PMS. And what the government then wanted to do was to deregulate our downstream sector, remove subsidy, because many Nigerians, in fact, everyone agreed with President Goodluck Jonathan that this subsidy must go. And that is why I am not against, subsidy removal. And everybody, as in everyone knows my stand on this. I am not against, subsidy removal. But the manner in which the current administration removed the subsidy, of course, he was even against subsidy removal. It was when he became president that he now knew that, okay, this is, one very big challenge to, our economy, to the country, that must go. He removed subsidy on the very first day that he was sworn in as a president. Who does that? He didn't even study the books. He didn't even look at all the discrepancies in the accounting system. He went ahead to make an announcement that subsidy gone, and the economy turned.
But there were a number of steps his government argued that has been taken, including providing palliatives to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. These are items that the government
Peter, can I quickly respond to what he said? That the president didn't study the book.
Partial removal of subsidy in 2012 by President Goodluck Jonathan. We saw as in different palliatives through you win program, through Shopee program, there is subsidy reinvestment programs, and we saw where as in the money that was accrued from the subsidy removal, where this money, were invested in. So which palliatives? I have not received anything as a Nigerian. I have not received anything. Rather, the ruling government, what they keep telling us is that governors now have more money, to do project that we are not even seeing. So where are the palliatives? Maybe Mustafa will come up here again to tell us, where the palliatives are, because I have not seen any.
This network is messing me up. Peter, can you hear me?
Well, thank you very much, Theophilus
Peter,
and
let me very quickly
Mustafa
respond. My
Ahmed
network is
for
breaking.
coming to us. We'll have to revisit some of these issues again, but for today, we'll call it a day and return another time when conditions are more favorable.
Please, before we go, actually, it is very, very important, because I thought that we were going to touch on, the economy and several other human rights.
This is a first in a series of interviews.
Peter, please, can I very quickly respond to all the things that you said?
Okay. There's
Can
no
I quickly respond to all the things that he said?
All right.
We'll
Thank you so
schedule
much,
another
for
time.
having us.
There will be more discussions.
And I hope that Mustafa will have a better network reception that time.
I hope so. Thank you very much, guys.
Can I quickly respond to all the things he said?
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you. All right. Okay, bye.
Yeah.